In this video, we're just going to take a look at our practice assignment and talk about how do we set up some of how do we approach some of these problems, okay? So the notes video is already there for you. You have the notes key, but sometimes using that we need a little bit refresher to go along with it because the examples, while they're similar, are not entirely the same. So let's take a look here at the first one. We might look at kind of doing this whole thing. Now, these first three are very basic scenarios. Not a lot we're going to do with them. We're going to think about if we can reduce them, but these are the most basic that we have. And then we kind of bump it up a little bit on the next three and the final three, the final few, I should say, the final four. Might have just a little bit more to try. Okay, so let's take a look and remind ourselves some things. This first fraction and second fraction both have the same denominator. And when we have the same denominator, remember this, that means you're allowed to bring the two fractions together. So we're going to bring these fractions together. The denominator is going to stay 3, okay? But for this one, we have our first numerator says x minus 7, and our second numerator says 5x. But in between, we have that plus sign. So we have a plus sign, and then we have a 5x after that. Okay, now when we do this, we're thinking through, okay, so we have our two fractions. We want to add them together. Since we're adding, just like we saw in the notes, adding is not going to change either numerator. So what we can do is actually just rewrite this without those parentheses. So we have an x minus 7 plus a 5x. Okay, so with those two things, we just need to combine our like terms. And if you look right here, the very beginning, we can put a 1 in front of that first x. Okay, and so when we combine our numerator values, we have two like terms that we can bring together, right? We have a 1x at the beginning and a 5x at the end that we're adding with it. So all I need to ask myself is, what is 1x plus a 5x? That's just 6x. And after that, we have the minus 7. As our denominator, we have 3. And so in our notes, we practice, can we reduce? And when you look at this one, we ask ourselves, can you divide the two numbers in our numerator by something other than 1? And you can't divide 7 by 6. You can't divide 7 by anything else besides itself. So no, we cannot simplify this any further. And what I have at the end of this worksheet is an answer bank. And what you see right here in the middle, we have that 6x minus 7 that we were just talking about, or over 3. So there we go. We found our first solution. Not solution, but we've simplified our first pair of fractions, and now we can move on. Okay, so these first three, we're really just practicing, can we add and can we subtract? All right, so next one, same deal. The denominators are the same, so we'll go to those. We got an x plus 5, x plus 5. Now in this one, not going to work it all the way through, but remind you of some things. You can bring them together. And so that gives you x plus 5 as your denominator. But your two numerators here, you have a 2x plus a 3 minus this time, right? So we have this minus sign in the middle. So this time it is minus, and we have a negative x minus 8, okay? So negative x minus 8 here. So for this particular example, remember, with a minus sign, that's a negative 1 in front of this expression. So we do need to, on this, remember, when you see subtraction, the first numerator will never change, but the second numerator will, because we're going to multiply by negative 1. So negative 1 times a negative x is positive 1x. Negative 1 times a negative 8, that is positive 8. And then you have your x plus 5 as your denominator. So what I need you to do now is, on this one, combine the numerator there to see what you get, and check your answer. Number 3 will be very much like number 2, because once again, we have a minus sign in between. So I'll let you try that one out. 4, 5, and 6, they are very similar to the first 3, but the difference on these is we are going to simplify the answers at the end, okay? So first one, you've got two fractions, both of the same denominator, x plus 8. So on these, we're allowed to bring these together, okay? So we have x plus 8 as our denominator, and then above that, we have 5x plus 8 as the first numerator. Sorry, 5x plus 20, and we are adding with that a negative 3x minus 4, okay? So let's see, negative 3x minus 4. Remind you again, we do not have to change anything when we're adding. So adding scenarios gives us positive ones in front of our parentheses. Nothing's going to change there. So our denominator is still x plus 8. Both numerators will stay the same. So we still have a 5x plus a 20, and we still have a plus negative 3x, which we don't need a plus and a negative. So we'll just put negative 3x here and a negative 4. All right, so last thing, can you combine like terms? So we're looking at this. We have 5x here and a negative 3x there. 5x minus 3x is 2x. And then after that, we have a couple more. We've got a 20 minus a 4, and 20 minus 4, that is positive 16. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is, can we factor the numerator? We've combined these fractions, but does that numerator factor? Okay, this is one of those where we have two values where we can divide them both. Okay, we can divide them both by the same amount. So looking at the 2x plus 16, ask yourself, what can I divide them by? Realize that that value is 2. So divide them both by 2. 2x divided by 2 is x. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And that allows us to rewrite our numerator as 2 times x plus 8, which is great because the denominator underneath it is also an x plus 8. And that's going to allow us to reduce these away. So the x plus 8s will cancel, and you are going to be left with the value of 2. So all finished in the end, everything canceled away except for that value of 2, and that would be the end result. All right, so that's what these three are adding in. You get to this point right here like we did in 1, 2, and 3, but after that point, we do need to try to reduce it. So this is great if you're getting to here. You've added the fractions, but now try to simplify. So factor that numerator and reduce. So that's going to happen in all of these. So you can try number 5. Number 6, please, again, be careful with that. That's a minus sign in between that. So for this one, remember, it's 4x minus 7, but then you have a minus sign in between. And so after that, you have the 3x minus 2. Don't forget, do not forget on this one, you need to distribute that negative 1, okay? Make sure you distribute that negative 1 through here so that you can get your new numerator. The denominator says x squared minus 25. Now let's talk about that. It is x squared minus 25, but let's remember x squared minus 25 factors via perfect squares. X squared minus 25 is x plus 5 and x minus 5. So rather than writing x squared minus 25 down here, let's go ahead and put the parentheses that it changes to and see what happens. Okay, so again, work with your numerator there, see what it gives you. Remember, your denominator has 2 factors, x plus 5 and x minus 5. Maybe one of those will cancel in the end. All right, a couple other things. When we look at this next one, we have fractions that are not matching. So number 7, we have a 3x here and just x there. So what we realize is the second fraction is missing something that the first one has. So the second fraction is missing that 3. So we're going to multiply both of these by 3. That means our common denominator is 3x. So for number 7, we're going to have 2 over 3x plus your second fraction is now going to say 4 times 3. That's 12. And underneath that, x times 3 is 3x. Now you should be able to continue on and combine. For number 8, same thing. There's a couple things missing. The second fraction has a 7. The first fraction doesn't. But the second fraction also has x squared. And the first fraction only has x. So we're going to fix that. To get 7x squared over here, the denominator that has less, to get 7x squared, it needs a 7 and another x. So we're going to multiply both by 7x. Okay, so we're going to multiply each fraction by 7x in this case, and we'll see what we get. So when we do that, the numerator here is going to be a 21x. 7x times x, there's your 7x squared. The second fraction stays the same, so it's minus 14 over 7x squared. And that's how we chose our common denominator. Now both denominators say the same thing. You're ready to move on. So keep working from there. Okay, and this one does reduce, so you'll check in the end what that could be. All right, number 9, same thing. This one's already factored, so just take a look at that. The fraction has an x plus 2, but it's missing an x minus 2, so we need to add in an x minus 2 here, okay? And that means we need to multiply by x minus 2 here. You know what? I'm going to switch where I put that. So we have an x plus 2, but we also need an x minus 2, which means we need to multiply by x minus 2 to this one. So what that's going to give you is 2 times x minus 2, right? Plus, okay, so adding is good. Adding is easy. We don't have to change anything here. Plus that 2 minus x. But your new denominator now says x plus 2 and x minus 2. We rewrote the first fraction to have both factors. So there's your common denominator. Okay. All right, so I'll let you finish that one too, since you brought together. Simplify that numerator, see if something does reduce for you. It should. Last one, I'll give you a hint. We do need to factor this, okay? So I do need you to factor this one right here. And to do that, you are going to need to make your X chart to where you need two numbers that multiply to negative 24 and add to negative 2. So that means you need one positive number, one negative number, okay? And so our common denominator then is going to have those things. We have, when you finish this, your common denominator is going to have two parts to it. Okay, this is very much like example 4 on the notes today. And one of those factors is x minus 6. I need you to figure out what the other one says. Okay, it's x plus something. So finish that x chart there. See if you can find that. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Use it to your advantage. Keep using that answer bank at the bottom to check your work as you go. If your answer doesn't match one of these, it might be that you just haven't reduced yet. So try to reduce your answers from 4 till the end. All right, good luck, and remember,